Okay, new video. If you're a beginning collector looking to start subscribing, collecting, pre-ordering books, previewsworld.com/catalog. That will give you the online version of what is printed as well of the previews catalog. So when people are talking about, oh, you need to pre-order your books, get the previews guide. You don't necessarily need to get the previews guide because more or less you'll find what you need here online, previewsworld.com, as well as some industry news and other stuff like that. Comicsbeat.com is really good for news. But we have the previews catalog for June 2021 here. This will stay the same more or less regardless of when you are watching this video, unless something changes within the industry entirely. The product that you can see here as I'm highlighting it, this is the June 2021 catalog for products in shops August 2021 and beyond. So as you can imagine, it can be a bit frustrating for LCS owner to predict demand for books and stuff, but that's why it's essential that you check out the catalog and see what the heck is going on, what is being released. And we are on a 2-month pre-order schedule. I don't want to shop myself, but I'm just saying, as comic book readers and fans and collectors, we are pre-ordering products and books and whatnot 2 months in advance. That is a 2-month lead time. So you can go here, you can scroll through, you can even sort by publisher as well as certain categories of product. You can see here in these drop-down menus, as well as searching through titles. You can go find this catalog in print form in shops if that's what you want to do. You want something to hold in your hands. There's, with older catalogs, there is speculation on first appearances as well. But that's a whole different story for other people who play a different type of investment game in terms of comic book collecting. But, you can scroll through, you can see, you can view all of the books that Image is publishing, or Marvel, Dark Horse. DC is available on a different site. I believe you can go to Lunar Distribution. You'll be able to get and download their catalogs there. Another thing you can do actually is, I just thought up of this right now, is you can go, Discount Comic Book Service is where I primarily pre-order my books through, dcbservice.com. Scroll down to the bottom, you're going to go to the download section. You guys go to the download section, you can find DC Connect. It'll be a PDF as well as the Marvel Previews PDF. So if you want to view those, both Marvel specific catalog and DC specific catalog, both of those publishers release their own catalog in a PDF as well as print format. DC does not do their catalogs. The DC Connect, they don't publish those in print anymore. It's just a PDF now, to my knowledge. Right now, that may change. They stopped publishing those post-pandemic. I think maybe 1 or 2, the first few numbers of DC Connect was published, but after that, they stopped doing that in print form. But there you go. You can find the previews catalog online digitally on previewsworld.com, as well as finding the Marvel and DC catalogs for product, again, 2 months in advance, okay? You can find these resources online. These links will be below down in the description. Moving on from that, sometimes you might not want to order something that you don't know what the cover looks like, right? So sometimes even in the previews catalogs, even in the print form, the art does not hit the street publishing date of those catalogs necessarily. Sometimes it'll be, TBA, to be announced, or they just don't have the artwork prepared yet and the artist is still working on it. At the same time, another thing to note is, despite what a variant may be listed as. I've had this happen before. The variant might end up being done by a different artist. So let's say, for example, here, this Commanders in Crisis, cover B, Marion. We already have the art for this, but let's say it was a blank, Previews World to be announced, right? The publisher can very well change what that artwork ends up being. So what you see is not necessarily what you may get at the end of the day, but it's just providing you with an idea of what it may or may not look like. So there you go. But this is a very cool page as well. Also previewsworld.com/final orders due. So this is what people are talking about when they mean the final order cutoff date, otherwise known as FOC. Okay. This is for orders due June 14th on Monday. The final cutoff date to order all of these books. And sometimes these books come up on second and third printings, right? They won't necessarily announce that. Okay, so for later printing books, second print, third print, fourth print, fifth print, etc., you might not see that show up on wherever you're ordering from. And some stores may not even sell FOC type of books. Things from Another World does. From time to time, I will order FOC books from Things from Another World. You can go to them at tfaw.com. Sanctum, Sanctorum, Oddities and Comics, I believe. They have FOC books as well occasionally. And it's becoming more of a thing, right? Shops have to, stay on top of it and keep you customers aware of that as well. But if your LCS is not aware of it, or they just really don't tell you this sort of stuff, you can go check it out, previewsworld.com/final orders due. And every week, this page will update with new content, new books that have their final order date. Okay. And another thing here, new printings and variants. This page is a little bit slower to update, unfortunately, but we have a way around that, which I'll speak about later on. But this is a relatively concise list of other variants or other printings of books. You can see here second printings, third printings of Berserker #2. We have the ship dates as well as the ordering item code. A small note here, the first 3 characters is obviously the month the original solicitation was for the book. But sometimes those codes only represent what the original date was, and might not necessarily be when the book actually comes out. So it says April, but the book's not releasing until June. But that is only because it is a second print. And the first issue might have released earlier in June. But there you go, previewsworld.com/new printing. So if you're into artist variants and later printings, these 2 pages, that FOC final orders due page, as well as this Previews World new printings and variants page, is very important. Moving on from this, sometimes stuff that you might miss in the catalog, if you're like a fan of a particular artist, right? And this page is slow to update, right? But you might not know about certain things that are going on. So if you search here, and this westfieldcomics.com, they sometimes update a little quicker than some other sites will have their solicitations for the books, right? So right now, it's June. We're ordering for August. Nearing the end of the month, we're going to start seeing some September books start showing up here, and September variants, right? And sometimes, the ratio variants and stuff like that, you might not know that information. Marvel and DC, sometimes they don't publish that information, right? So I'm a big fan of Jenny Frison or Jenny Frison, however you pronounce it. But you can see here right now, there is a Magic the Gathering incentive 1 in 100 ratio cover, an incentive cover for Jenny Frison. And that is not necessarily showing up here. If I search Frison, you can see it's only got the Berserker variants. Oh, here, they finally updated it. There you go, Magic the Gathering 100 copy Jenny Frison variant. And what you can do if you're looking to buy this book, right? You're going to take that item code, copy that. You're going to go just type it into Google search it, right? This works sometimes, not all the time. And you might be able to find it. So you can see Golden Apple Comics has it, as well as Westfield Comics. You can see Golden Apple. There you go. And that's the artwork. Golden Apple Comics is charging $250. And Westfield Comics is charging $262.50. Now, here is a workaround. Okay, Magic the Gathering is being published by Boom Studios, okay? Now watch this. We're going to go to the Boom Studios shop. Okay, if you're into Boom Studios, you need to pay attention right now. I'm going to search Jenny Frison. And we're going to scroll down and we're going to find that Magic the Gathering. There you go. $100. $100. You're saving. Okay, you're saving $150 by ordering directly from Boom Studios. And who does the fulfillment for Boom Studios? None other than DCBS, otherwise known as InStockTrades.com. Another great site. If you're looking for stuff you missed and just want to catch it in trade format, In Stock Trades. Sometimes some of the inventory will show up on DCBS. But nonetheless, there you go. So rather than paying the $250, you can just buy it from Boom directly for $100. There you go. I just saved you $100. And after that, in general, just paying attention to solicitations, right? Here's a formerly known as Newsarama. They later got combined with Games Radar. You can check out Games Radar, gamesradar.com. They will have solicitations for the next month and whatnot. CBR.com is another good website, cbr.com/tag/solicitations. In general, you can just Google, right? Marvel solicitations, July 2021. And you can see stuff, right? Comics Beat has that as well. So there you go. If you're looking to pre-order stuff, pay attention and look at the solicitations. It gives you a good outlook on what issues are coming out. Sometimes they will have the artwork ready, other times not. In general, if you're ordering Previews World catalog, it's available online. You can look at it online. You don't have to go to a store to look at it in person. But if you want to do that, you're welcome to do that as well. As far as the big two, Marvel, DC, right? You can download the PDF catalogs from DCBS, dcbservice.com/content/downloads. You have the Marvel previews in a PDF format, as well as the DC Connect in a PDF format. And in addition to that, it's a small little tool. If you're into that, using Excel to order, you can upload your Excel file. They have an Excel spreadsheet of everything available to order that month. Some people like to do that. Personally, I order more or less visually, as well as looking up artist names and to see what an artist may or may not have available. And then final order cutoff, if you're interested in later printings. Sometimes news sites will announce the later printings, other times no. Boom Studios is pretty okay with letting people know when other printings are coming out. You can follow the CEO or boss's page, Ross Ritchie. Go ahead, Google that. Ross is really good at letting people know about when some new stuff, when some new heat is going on. Westfield Comics, you can, get a little advance notice and see what's going on. It also lets you know what incentive level certain books are, right? Sometimes it might not say that it's a 1 in 100. So what this means is a store needs to order 100 copies in order to be able to get this variant, which is pretty insane. And last but not least, as far as, finding out future news, right? This is solicitations, meaning you look at it before the catalog even releases. So sometimes Previews World will be updating last because they have to compile everything from everyone, which is a crazy thing to have to do. But DC and Marvel stuff and Image, Boom, etc., you can go to Games Radar as well as CBR, Comics Beat. And there you go. That's all I got to say about pre-ordering comics. Feel free to leave a comment or ask questions below. Thank you very much for watching.